Hello everyone, myself Manish Paramar, and I am going to teach you about C basic introduction. So let's start. So here's the history of C is given. C is one of the most popular computer languages today because it is a structured high level machine independent language. So here's the basic introduction and history about C is given. So here history of in history of C, there's given that C was evolved from Algol. So what is Algol? So now Algol is a root of all the modern languages and it is introduced in 1960s. So after the invention of or introduction of Algol, BCPL is introduced. So now what is BCPL? So BCPL is a basic combined programming language which is introduced by Martin Richards in 1967. So the first of all Algol is introduced and after that BCPL is introduced, and after the invention of BCPL, B is introduced in 1970 by Ken Thompson. So this is the introduction of the languages, early languages, and by the introduction of Algol, BCPL, and B, by combining the formulas and languages and structures of these all three languages, Dennis Ritchie at Bell Laboratory in 1972 invented C. So in 1972, C was introduced by Dennis Ritchie. So here's in sidebar, a table is given like Algol, BCPL, B, traditional C, then KNRC, and CC. So this is the introduction to the C language and its evolution. So this is the history of C. Now going forward for the syntax. So here in the sidebar or box you can see a simple syntax like header file. Then here you can see here like this is header file, this is my main function, and these are curly braces, and this is declaration part, and this is content. So this is the structure of my C program. So here inside this header file you have to include header files like studio.h or stdlib. So these header files will active your commands which you will use inside this main function. So whatever you are using inside this main function will be declared using this header file. So first of all you have to declare this header file, and after that you can use commands inside this main function. So what is our main function? So main function is a part in which we are writing our main program of our whole program. So the main part of my program is written under this main function, and in this declaration part I am declaring my variables whatever I needed for this my main function, and inside this content part I'm using my contents, or like if I want to print a message then I will use my print statement, or whatever I have to do I will use inside this content. And after the termination of every line you have to use this semicolon at the last of the line to terminate your line. So you have to put this, it's necessary. So this is a simple format of my program. Now starting main function. So how we can start our main function? So this is the structure of my main function, that you have to write a main and then put C brackets, and then open and close it using this curly braces. So this is opening curly braces and this is closing curly braces, and inside this main you have to write your content as I said in this part. And you can see here that I am terminating my line using a semicolon. So semicolon is a used to end a line. So this is my main function. And one more thing, that when you are declaring this main, then you need to declare its data type too, that what is the return type of this main. So as you can see here that I didn't use anything before this main. That means that my main is of integer type. The default value, the default data type of my main is integer type. And if you want to change it, then you can use void, then integer or character. You can, anything you have to use, you can use here. But if you didn't use anything, then it will consider it as a integer type, and it will return you an integer value. So this all thing we will discuss it in our function file. So here in this ppt I will discuss only about basics. So let's go forward. So here is the indentation part. So what do you mean by indentation? So in simple language, if I tell you, then indentation simply means as spaces. So whatever spaces we are giving to our program, that simply means as indentation. So indentation simply means about spacing that we are going to leave to make our program more readable. So you think that why we have to use this space between my program, and why we are going to use them. So the main purpose of this indentation is that you're using this indentation to make your program more readable, so that the other users who are using your program can easily read it, can easily understand it. But if you didn't use this indentation, then everything is going to mix up, and the another user who is using it can't understand that what you are writing here and what the program does, and what is the main part of that function, and what is the main part of that program, and what does the program gives us output. So everything goes that makes up. So you have to give us space inside your program to make it more readable. So for this you have to use this indentation. Like you can see here in this box that my main is opened here, and after that I'm using here a tab. So tab is sufficient space for my indentation, and then I'm using here my content. And if I didn't use this tab and right here, start from here, then this will look like this. So think that inside this main you are using another function, and inside that function you are using another function, that then you can't able to figure it out in one, that from where it going to start and where it ends. And you can't find inside it that where my another function is going to start. So you have to put some indentation like this, so the user, another user can easily find it out, that how from where and from where it start and where it ends. So put blank lines between two functions, or wherever it's needed, and put white spaces too. So that's indentation. Now going forward for comments. So once again, comment is the most important part of our program to increase its readability. So if one user or one programmer is creating a program, then it may happen that only he or she can understand her or his program. But if you want to make it more readable and make it that other users can also read it easily and understand it, then you have to write some commands like this. So there are two types of commands. So first one is single line comment, which is used like this, and this is for single line only. If you want to comment in single line, then you can use this single line comment. And if your comment is larger in characters, then you can use multi-line comments. And multi-line comments are simply used for multiple line comments. If your comment is in multiple line like this, then you can use a multi-line comment. And you can see here that how I can use my comments and what is the syntax. You can see here, this is my this is syntax is for my single line comment, and this one is for my multi-line comment. So that's all for comment. Now going forward for a sample program. So this is my sample program, and my file name is hello world.c. So this is my file name, and this is my main. So here main started, and here curly braces opens, and this is my end curly braces. Here you can see that I used multi-line comments and single line comments too. That here means started and here means ends. And I used here a command as printf. So printf is generally for printing a statement into my display. So I used it like this, like printf and then C brackets, and inside it I use double inverted comma, and whatever I have to print inside it, I'm typing it inside my inverted commas. So here I have written as hello world. So this program will return me a message as hello world on my display. And you can see here that I have used a semicolon to terminate my line. So that's a sample program. So we know that this program will give us a statement like hello world. So but how this program will give us a value or that statement, so let us go to understand that. So that's the part of compilation and executing our program. So for compilation, we have to use a platform or a terminal. So let's discuss about a terminal. So first of all, discuss about what is compilation and running. So compilation is needed because whatever you have written in your program is just a human readable form. So that human readable form is can't understandable by the computer or machine itself. So we have to compile it and convert it into a machine readable form. So we have to create a object file of our program. So for creating a object file, we have to compile our program. So for compilation, we have to use a CC, like this syntax. I am using a double C, and then writing my file name as I said here that my file name is hello world.c. So here I am using my file name as hello world.c. So this will compile my file. This will compile my program inside Unix. So this feature is for Unix, as we know that Unix is connected with our C, and C is mostly connected with the Unix. So here I'm discussing about Unix features. So here you can use cc hello world.c. So this will compile my program. There's another method for my compilation, like cc hyphen o and then new and original. While here you have to put a space. So new means that if you want to create a file, a object file, and that's have a name defined by you, then you have to follow this format. And if you want that the object file name is default, then you have to simply use this format. And if you use this one format, then the object file will have the default value as default name as a dot out. And in this one case, you can declare your object file name as you need. That you can see here that I used a hello file for my object, and here I used as hello world.c as my original file. So for running we have to use this kind of syntax. So this simply means that you have to put a dot and a slash and then write the file name, which is your object file. So for default my object file is a.all, while uh, in this syntax, this one, you have to create a file. So you have to put the file name as you have defined while creating this object file. So you can see here that I have created a hello file for my object. So here I am using this one, like dot slash and then hello. So what will after this is given us is showing us an output on our display. So after performing this task, you will see a output like hello world, simply like this in your output screen. So the compilation and execution means running my program, is turned on terminal in Unix. And if you don't want to use this terminal, then you have to download a software, not a software, you have to download any software you want to download that supports and helps you to create a C program. So that's all. So thank you guys for watching this video.